What's up, guys? Welcome to Funk Around and Find Out. This here is my premiere video, Introduction to Frequencies and RIFE Frequency Technology. I found it a necessity to create this video because this whole thing started with me just really trying to explain frequencies and vibrations and the right frequency technology that I use to regular people, because I talk about frequencies so much and nobody has any idea what the hell I'm talking about. So I just decided I'd make a PowerPoint, explain the basics of the RIFE frequency technology that I use. Now, hopefully, if you're a user of this technology, or you're looking to get into it, or you're confused about it, or you already use it and you're trying to explain it to other people, and you know that it's very difficult to try to explain to people what this is. So I created a PowerPoint which just goes over the basics of what RIFE frequency technology is and how it can be applied to everyday life. Accompany the PowerPoint, I thought might as well just make a YouTube video, and something's just telling me just make a channel and just talk about frequencies, because I can talk about frequencies for days. I can explain everything in terms of frequency. But let's just start with the basics. Let's start with RIFE frequency technology and the equipment, and hopefully it answers some questions or sparks a curiosity in you, and you'll want to dive a little bit deeper. Okay, well, let's get into the screen recording. Alright, here we go. Introduction to frequencies and RIFE frequency technology. I'm gonna just keep this video simple. Of course, everything in the universe is frequencies, but I'm gonna keep this video to just RIFE frequency technology and explaining to you the basics of that. So what is frequency? Vibration. Frequency or vibration is the oscillation per second of manifested matter. Actually, the 3D world that we live in and experience is vibration slowed down to such an extent that it forms physical matter. We'll be touching more on this in future videos, but for now, let's just stick to the basics and to the frequency tech. For now, let's keep it simple so we can begin to understand. We don't even have to call it frequency or vibration. For now, we can just think of it as energy. Absolutely everything in the universe is made of energy. Every sound wave, light wave, place, person, time, and even event has its very own unique energy signature. Every organ and cell in your body has their own specific energy, and the total existential energy of a person is the culmination of all those energies put together. When the cells become damaged, due possibly from the poisons ingested in the food and beauty products, it alters the energy of the living organism. This can manifest in various symptoms, almost always with varying degrees of declined physical health. But good news, the technology exists that we can deliver healing energies to the damaged cells, correcting their energy imbalance and restoring health to the organism. Dynamics of a wave. Now, energy exists and moves as waves. We are about to cover a little bit of physics right now. I know that's not everyone's strong suit, but you don't even have to necessarily know the details. You don't have to be a scientist to understand frequencies. And really, if you'd rather just skip ahead all this technical mumbo jumbo, you can skip ahead a few slides to what you need to know. But let's get into a little bit of the physics of how frequencies exist. Just the basics of a wave. The amplitude is the spike in the wave. The higher the amplitude, the bigger the spike. The highest part of the wave is called the peak or the crest. The lowest part is called the trough. One oscillation cycle is complete when the wave cycles through the high point and the low point and arrives back at the median. The number of oscillations per second is the frequency. Frequency is measured in hertz. Examples of frequency in hertz. Okay, this graph shows a period of time for 1 second. The number of oscillations of the wave in that 1 second, you see, we can count it. Here it starts, up, down, back in the middle, that's 1. So 1 oscillation per second, the frequency is 1 hertz. This is another example. Again, this period of time is for 1 second. The number of oscillations in the wave of this total, let's count it. It'll go up, down 1, up, down 2, 2.5. 2.5 in a second. The frequency is 2.5 hertz. One more example. Okay, again, this graph shows a period of time for 1 second. The number of oscillations in this 1 second, we can count them. Okay, starts here. Up, down 1, up, down 2, up, down 3, up, down 4. It's 4 oscillations per second. The frequency is 4 hertz. The more oscillations per second, the higher the frequency. Or the faster the wave speed, the higher the frequency. Slow waves with a low amplitude have a low frequency. Fast waves with a high amplitude have a high frequency. What you need to know. Frequency is measured in hertz. The higher the number of hertz, the higher the frequency. Higher frequency means more energy. That does not always necessarily mean that higher frequencies are better. Very high frequencies may actually be harmful depending on the wave type. And that leads us into different types of waves. Now, there are more types of waves in existence. Just recently, Earth scientists have confirmed the existence of gravitational waves, but we're not going to cover that right now. We're going to cover what we know. This is basic physics right here. You can confirm this doing your own Google search. This is real, factual, Earth-based science. This is not sci-fi. So again, we are about to touch on a bit of physics here. It can be a little bit technical, but it's not necessary to understand the details. You can just skip to the bullet points, skip ahead a few slides to what you need to know. But we're going to cover 2 different types of waves here. Again, what is a wave? Waves are a propagation of a disturbance in a medium that transmits energy from one location to another. There are many different types of waves, including sound waves, surface waves, seismic waves, and electromagnetic and light waves. We are going to discuss 2 main types of waves in which the medium oscillates with respect to the direction of wave propagation. These waves are transversal waves and longitudinal waves. Transverse wave motion occurs when points in the medium oscillate at right angles to the direction of the wave's travel. If a wave travels from left to right, the particles of the medium will vibrate up and down in place. The simplest way to understand a transverse wave is to look at a slinky. Stretch a slinky out. If you move it up and down, the energy of the slinky moves up and down, while the propagation of the wave moves left to right. Same with the transverse wave. The particles vibrate up and down, while the wave moves left to right. Longitudinal waves, also called pressure waves and compressional waves, oscillate particles in the direction of the motion of the wave. If a wave travels from left to right, the displacement of the medium is also left to right. The simplest way to understand a longitudinal wave is to stretch a slinky out. Now, if you push and pull on the slinky, the energy of the slinky is moving left to right. The same as the propagation of the wave is moving left to right. The same with a longitudinal wave. The particles in a longitudinal wave are moving left to right, while the propagation of the wave is also moving left to right. Examples of transverse waves are radio waves, microwaves, infrared and ultraviolet radiation, X-rays, and gamma rays. When it comes to transversal waves, the higher the frequency, the higher the radiation levels, the more damage it will do to the cells. Longitudinal waves. Some examples of longitudinal waves include sound waves, subwoofers, ultrasound, and RIFE frequency technology. But unlike transverse waves, under normal conditions that I'm aware of, are usually not harmful or damaging to the cells at higher frequencies. On the contrary, longitudinal waves seem to have healing effects on the cells when tuned to specific frequencies. What you need to know. Transverse waves, bad at high frequencies. These are your X-rays and your gamma radiations. Transverse waves include things such as radio waves, microwaves, X-rays, etc. The higher the frequency, the more radioactive the wave. Transverse waves are damaging to the cells at high frequencies. Longitudinal waves, good. This includes things like sound waves, ultrasound, and RIFE frequency technology. Unlike transverse waves, longitudinal waves are not harmful or damaging to the cells at most frequencies. And contrary to transverse waves, they may actually have healing benefits when tuned to specific frequencies. Disclaimer: the preceding and following statements are the personal views, opinions, and commentary that is filtered through the perspective of a single consciousness observer. I make absolutely no medical claims for any equipment or procedures whatsoever. One should always consult a government-qualified medical professional for all health concerns. The statements made are for personal and entertainment purposes only. I am not affiliated with the manufacturers of RIFE equipment, and neither they nor I make any medical claims about the equipment and or software. I am simply documenting my own personal experiences with my use of RIFE frequency technology and energy healing. RIFE frequency technology. Now I'm going to talk about the actual tech that I use. This is real stuff. This is not science fiction. This is the very same technology researched by Nikola Tesla and Royal Rife. And actually, Nikola Tesla went way further with this technology than what is available to us today. But we're going to focus on what we can do. RIFE frequency technology can deliver specific healing frequencies to the organism through various modalities. Whether that be through TENS pads, through laser, through sound waves, through pulse electromagnetic frequencies. There are various ways to deliver these healing frequencies to the organism so that we can restore health. Nikola Tesla, 1856 to 1943. Royal Rife, 1888 to 1971. I may do videos on both Nikola Tesla and Royal Rife, as most people aren't familiar with the works of them, especially Royal Rife, because the research and works of both Nikola Tesla and Royal Rife were confiscated by the CIA. They took their technology, they discredited both of them, they died broke, and their technology and research is now used by the regressive cabal and the CIA for their own devices. So yeah, I might do brief biographies of the lives and works of both Nikola Tesla and Royal Rife in the near future. Stay tuned for more. Rife frequency technology available to humans. The following are just some of the Rife frequency products in mass production available to the general population. I know this might come to a shock to you, but there are companies that make this technology and make it available for purchase to regular human civilians. This isn't sci-fi shit. Be aware, some of these brands may be made by the regressive cabal for the purposes of misdirection and disinformation. They will not work as they should. This is intentional in an effort to discredit the technology. In my opinion, there is one brand that stands above the rest in terms of effectiveness and affordability. From what I've seen, they work very hard to provide this technology to as many people as possible, despite the backlash they receive from the medical establishments of most Western countries. So that's it for Introduction to Frequencies and Rife Frequency Technology, Part 1. Hopefully you have a little bit better understanding on frequencies and vibrations and energy healing. There's much more to cover. Don't worry, we'll be diving deeper into these subjects. I've included a link to the PowerPoint presentation in the description. Google Drive presentation, free of charge. Please use the PowerPoint. Look at the PowerPoint. Use it when you're just trying to remember the benefits or details of Rife frequencies, or when you're trying to explain it to a friend or a family member. I know that this kind of subject can be very difficult to try to relay to somebody. But ultimately, that is the best way for you yourself to learn about it, is to try to teach somebody. So that's it for now. Until the next one, make like you're going back to Canada. Peace out.
Peace out.